Spring is here and you're probably excited to turn your horse out on fresh grass. But here's the thing, your horse's digestive system isn't designed to handle what you think it is. In this video, we're diving deep into 3 critical connections: Fructan, your horse's digestive system, and Laminitis. I'm going to show you the cascade that turns spring grass into a medical emergency. So get this, the real danger isn't the grass itself. It's a sugar molecule called fructan that your horse literally cannot digest. And the amount of fructan in grass changes dramatically throughout the day. We're talking massive differences based on temperature and sunlight. Now, this video focuses specifically on the fructan-laminitis connection. But in my next video, we'll take a step back and look at these same underlying mechanisms from a broader perspective, because this isn't just about spring grass only. This is about understanding how your horse's entire metabolic system works. But first, you need to understand this foundation. Let's break down the science. Let's start with the basics. Horses are hindgut fermenters. Most digestion happens in the cecum and large colon, not the stomach. Their stomach is tiny, just 8 to 15 litres, roughly the size of a large bucket. It empties in just a few hours, which is why horses need to eat small amounts continuously. Wild horses graze 16-18 hours per day, constantly moving and eating. The hindgut is massive. It weighs about 100 kilograms in an average horse and contains hundreds of different bacterial species. These microbes produce specialized enzymes that break down plant fiber into volatile fatty acids, which provide the majority of the horse's energy needs. Normal fiber takes 1.5 to 3 days to pass through the entire digestive tract. This slow fermentation is essential for extracting maximum nutrition. But spring grass disrupts this entire system. Spring grass is fundamentally different from mature grass. It's loaded with water-soluble carbohydrates, roughly double what you'd find in mature summer grass. The protein content is also much higher than hay. Fructan is a polysaccharide, chains of fructose molecules linked together. Horses lack the specific enzyme in their small intestine needed to break these bonds. Studies show that all ingested fructan reaches the hindgut completely intact. Once there, it's rapidly fermented by specific bacteria, Streptococcus bovis and Lactobacillus species. This fermentation produces massive amounts of lactic acid, dropping the hindgut pH from a neutral 7.0 down to a highly acidic 5.5 or even lower within 12 to 24 hours. At pH 6.0, beneficial fiber-digesting bacteria start dying. Below pH 5.5, the intestinal lining itself becomes damaged. When these gram-negative bacteria die, they release toxins into the bloodstream. These trigger a systemic inflammatory response throughout the entire body called endotoxemia. Research from the University of Queensland found that horses fed a specific amount of fructan developed laminitis within 24 to 48 hours. For a 500-kilogram horse, this amount can be consumed in just 2 to 3 hours of grazing on high fructan grass. The endotoxins activate specialized enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases. These enzymes break down the laminar connections between the hoof wall and the coffin bone. This is then the mechanical failure we call laminitis. Fructan levels fluctuate dramatically based on environmental conditions. Fructan can reach extremely high levels during risky periods, up to 5 times higher than safe conditions. The highest risk occurs when temperatures are between 0 to 10 degrees Celsius with bright sunshine. Photosynthesis produces large amounts of sugar, but cold temperatures halt growth, so all that sugar converts to fructan for storage. Fructan accumulates overnight and peaks in the early morning hours between 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. University of Edinburgh research showed fructan levels at 8 a.m. were more than 3 times higher than at 6 p.m. After a frost event, fructan can increase by up to 4 times within 24 hours as the grass responds to stress. Similarly, drought-stressed grass can have fructan levels 2 to 3 times higher than well-watered grass. Grass species matters too. Perennial ryegrass typically contains 2 to 3 times more fructan than timothy or meadow fescue. Ryegrass is particularly dangerous in spring, while timothy remains relatively safer. In temperate climates, the highest risk period is March through May, and again from October to November. These are the months when photosynthesis is active, but growth is limited by temperature. Now let's have a look at the difference in risk exposure for different breeds. Not all horses respond to Fructan the same way. Native pony breeds have significantly higher risk of laminitis compared to thoroughbreds. They evolved in harsh environments with limited food, developing extreme metabolic efficiency. Their insulin response to sugar is much stronger than hot-blooded breeds. Horses with a body condition score above 7 have dramatically increased risk of laminitis. Fat tissue produces inflammatory chemicals, particularly leptin and TNF-alpha, that sensitize the laminae to endotoxins. Horses with insulin resistance cannot properly regulate blood glucose. Normal fasting insulin is below 10 microinternational units per milliliter. Above 20 is considered insulin resistant. These horses develop chronic hyperinsulinemia, which directly damages laminar tissue. Horses aged 10 to 20 years are at peak risk for metabolic syndrome. Studies of laminitis cases consistently find the average age around 14 years. Also critically, horses with previous laminitis have a very high recurrence rate within 2 years. The laminar tissue never fully regenerates to its original strength. So how do you catch laminitis early, before permanent damage occurs? Check the digital pulse in your horse's hooves daily during spring turnout. Normal is 30 to 40 beats per minute, a gentle, barely noticeable pulse. An elevated pulse above 60 beats per minute, strong and bounding, indicates early inflammation. At this stage, you have a 12-24-hour window to intervene. Watch for warm hooves, especially combined with reluctance to move, a stiff gait, having problems in walking tight turns, or shifting weight between front feet. These are your red flags. A positive response to hoof testers, where your horse flinches when pressure is applied to the sole, also might confirm early laminar inflammation. If you see these signs, remove your horse from grass immediately, apply ice boots to the hooves, place the horse in flowing cold water or simply cool the hooves with water from the hose. And immediately call your veterinarian. Every hour counts. Now these are the laminitis-specific warning signs. But the same fructan overload that causes laminitis in the worst case triggers other major problems that most horse owners also completely miss, although they often act as precursor to laminitis. These may be easier to recognize, but very few people take them seriously and draw the right conclusions. We'll cover those in the next video. But first, let's see what you can control. First, use a grazing muzzle. Research shows properly fitted muzzles reduce intake by roughly 80%. A horse can consume 1 to 2 kilograms of grass per hour without a muzzle, but only 200 to 400 grams with one. Second, turn out between 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. when fructan is lowest. Avoid 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. at all costs. If you must turn out in the morning, limit it to 15 to 30 minutes maximum. Third, after frost or cold sunny days, keep horses off grass for 48 hours. Fructan levels remain elevated for 1 to 2 days after the stress event. Fourth, transition over 2 to 3 weeks minimum. Start with just 15 minutes and increase by 10 to 15 minutes every few days. This allows the hindgut microbiome to adapt. Studies show it takes 2 to 3 weeks for bacterial populations to fully adjust to dietary changes. Fifth, graze grass taller than 10 centimeters. Short grass under 5 centimeters is stressed and produces more fructan. Taller, mature grass has more fiber and less water-soluble carbohydrate. Sixth, maintain body condition score between 4 to 6. For every point above 6, laminitis risk increases substantially. Seventh, for high-risk horses, use a dry lot with controlled hay feeding. Feed about 1.5 to 2% of body weight in low-sugar hay. That's 7.5 to 10 kilograms for a 500 kilogram horse. Choose hay with water-soluble carbohydrates below 10% and test it if possible. Finally, while probiotics and prebiotics are marketed for gut health, research shows mixed results. They may help during transitions, but they cannot overcome poor management. Focus on the fundamentals first. These strategies are supported by research from the University of Minnesota, Virginia Tech, and the Waltham Equine Studies Group. Now you understand the fructan-laminitis connection at a molecular level and know what is the cause of laminitis. You know when grass is most dangerous, which horses are at highest risk, and how to catch early warning signs. But here's what I didn't tell you. Laminitis is just one symptom, albeit the worst. The same biochemical cascade, hindgut acidosis, endotoxin release, systemic inflammation, causes other major problems. In my next video, we're covering all of them with the warning signs you need to watch for. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Your horse's complete health depends on understanding the full picture. See you in the next one.